Hi, we're back on. So this is part two. There's a lot to say. Um, so that was until I was 15 or 16. After that, I just delved into books like Omra Mihailan Ivanhov, if you heard of him. If you haven't, this is a Bulgarian philosopher who lived a lot in France. And of course, after that followed a lot of the, how to say, modern teachers of spiritual teachers of our contemporary times. And what I learned already by the age of 19 was amazing. And one of the books that had a huge impact on myself was this of James Redfield. And if you haven't read the Celestine Prophecy or the 10th Inside or the third book, now I think it was the fourth that came, and there's a movie if you want to check that out. That's the movie made out of the first book. I hope they're gonna do a movie also after the second and the third book. And that actually had a huge impact on me because I felt, okay, he's got something here. Yes, everyone was talking about the shift in consciousness and how we have to make a change. It's so imperative that we do that. And people were just, for instance, like Neil Donald Walsh with Conversation with God. That was another huge awakening. But besides that, I felt like nobody was really knowing what to do and how to deal with this shift. And only later things started to actually, more people came with practical solutions. But at the moment, we're still oriented into just dealing with the, how to say, daily stuff, like money, first of all, health, whatever, relationship issues, because we're not equipped. When we come into this life, we just absorb whatever our parents or the environment has to offer. And most of the time, if not all the time, it's just, I don't know, a repetition of things that are just, most of it, useless. And yeah, so that book actually had a huge impact on me. And I was like, okay, this guy has something here, but something is missing. I know. And it's like, what's the next level? And the next level actually happened to me that more experiences. I had to go through more things with my, say, physical body, so to speak. And a lot of things happened when I became a student. And I lived in Bucharest. And I remember one of those days when I was actually meditating. Very easily I would get out of my body and I was just like floating, and I thought that was very cool until more attacks happened. And I didn't understand. It's like, isn't this supposed to be fun? Isn't this supposed to be cool? And obviously it's not all about love and light, you know? It's, maybe we should actually move a little more here so we have the noise of the kids. Hope it doesn't bother. And so it's not all about love and light. That's actually the people that are actually have an interest in making you believe that it's just about love and light, so they can keep you busy and trapped in another, how should I say, a little more, how should I say, airy-fairy dogma, but it's still a dogma that won't lead you to the truth. And so I didn't know at that time what the hell that meant. But that was for sure that something was going on. That, I don't know, it's just I appeared on somebody's radar. When we reach a certain energy level and awareness, please understand, first of all, we're connected to this huge field of, not just morphogenetic field, it's just, there's people in this world that they monitor us, they monitor our brain waves, they monitor everything. And when something out of the ordinary happens in the matrix, of course you're going to just appear on somebody's radar. And I didn't know that at the time. I mean, of course I read in the books, but I was like, that's not going to happen to me or whatever. But then more attacks happened. Like, I would go to sleep and then I would feel like hands on my face or just on my throat, or I couldn't come back into my body. It's like I would be there, it's just like panicking. It's like somebody won't let me come into my body. It's like I was awake, but I didn't have a body. It's like somebody, and you don't hear anything or anybody. It's just, I just felt hands and things on my body, keeping me away from myself. That got really scary and crazy. But I survived that. And but actually led to more questions and more inquiry and more books. And one of those books that I read at the time was Jazz Mohin's books, and I realized they were really strong. I mean, a lot of people complain that she's whatever, but you know what? It's good to investigate. It's like, don't have an opinion unless you actually really try it. And I'm saying like really trying it, not just read a little bit and then say, yeah, it's bullshit. Experience it and then you'll see. So at that time I was reading a lot of those books on my summer vacation, because that was the time when I actually was less busy, because throughout the year I was busy with school and work and whatever. And a lot of things would start to happen at night, and that was, wow, oh my god, I was like, what's going on here? And she was talking about this process of 21 days to actually give up food, and I mean to start nourishing yourself with just prana, which is totally doable in the end. It's just we have lost this ability to do it here. We're not taught anymore how to do this. But that was, again, just a little piece of information from the whole puzzle. That doesn't mean right now I know the whole thing. It's just I have a little more piece of the puzzle. Anyways, and it was, I think, 2005, the summer of 2005, when I was reading, I was getting more information about the Ascension thing, the Ascension process. And I remember reading some articles online, and I was thinking, like, I really want to be part of that. I want something else. It was already clear that whatever world was there back then, and even today, it's not enough for me. It won't do it. And I just, I prayed. If God could hear me at that point, it's like, I want to be part of that. I really want to change my life in a way that, I should say, will basically, I will leave behind everything that is unimportant and things that keep me trapped in behaviors and patterns that won't allow me to live the life the way I want and my true potential. And yeah, and doing that, I remember, and of course reading Jazz Mohin's books at that time. One night, again, I was at home and I fell asleep. Actually, I was trying hard to fall asleep because I couldn't. And I had this buzz on my 7th chakra, on the crown chakra, and I could just feel it. It was like a whirlpool. I don't know how to explain this. It was a physical noise that would bzzz. It was like this intense buzzing. And then, of course, I got out of my body and I just walked around my house, and I got really scared when I just jumped off the window or whatever, and I was like in the air, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? But it felt very lonely. I felt like there's nobody here, and it's like, that's it. That's not what I'm looking for. Anyways, but I think that was a night before that, and the night with the buzzing, then finally I fell asleep, but then I felt this pull. It's just somebody was pulling the energy, but it was like I was like in a trance, and a voice in my head said, it's like, get up, wake up now it's dangerous, you're gonna die if you don't do that. And all I could see was this image of a big snake all coiled up in the middle of my room, who was actually doing that. And I was like, I tried to fear that, but I couldn't, because I was like in a trance, and it was pleasant but weird in the same time. But I could feel that something was sucking the life out of me, and I just wake up. Very hard. It was very hard, but I woke up. And when I woke up, I just went to my desk lamp to turn on the light. It didn't work. I just freeze. I almost pee my pants. Then I went to the light switch on the wall. That didn't work either. I was like, oh my God, what the hell? I was like, this was for real. And I was, what's that? This is just, and I just pushed over and over and it didn't work. And then I was again back to my lamp desk, my desk lamp, and finally at some point my lamp worked and the light was on, and I turned and I was like, no snake there, but I know something has happened. Anyways, after that I couldn't sleep at all. I was just so crazed up with fear, and I was like, what the hell was that? And I could only interpret this as like, again, I appeared on somebody's radar, and I didn't understand why. I mean, it's so cool. A lot of people think and say that being spiritual and having an interest in this kind of matter is actually cool and should bring you happiness and I don't know, and growth, right? But for me, it would bring more attacks. So what the hell was going on, and what the hell is still going on? Well, and for 3 days I just couldn't go to sleep at night. I was so afraid and so scared, and I would go like in the morning, like when the light would be on, and all night I would be with my TV on. And one morning after this, I remember I woke up and I went to the bathroom. I was just brushing my teeth, I was looking in the mirror, and I just turned and I was like, what's that? And I saw like a scar under my earlobe, but it looked like laser. Like I would have a laser surgery, like 5 centimeters long, something like this. And then I just touched it like to see if it hurt, but it didn't. But I could feel like it was a ditch, you know, like a trench. And I was like, what the hell is that? I don't remember cutting myself or hurting myself, and that wasn't there a day before. Luckily, I had somebody to talk with, which was my aunt, one of my mom's sisters, that she's also into all spiritual things, and she's interested in all the spiritual stuff. And that week I went to visit my parents, and of course I went to visit her also. And she looked at it and she said, okay, something really huge happened here. And we don't know if actually it was like an extraction or an implant or something like this, but something definitely happened there. And it had to do with energy. And slowly this thing actually faded away and disappeared completely. But at least I have an eyewitness. Anyway, so that was basically another, how should I say, defining moments of like something happening to me. And I remember after that day when I saw that scar, I felt a certain relief. And I thought maybe this had to do with the fact that, I don't know, a few days or weeks before that I prayed to actually be part of this change and be involved in this process and to be more, and to do it more aware. And all I could feel was this, that my life is going to be okay, that I'm going to be okay. Although I wasn't okay for years later, but something definitely has changed. It's like somebody unplugged me. I don't know to explain this better. It's like somebody pulled the plug and I was suddenly like in the Matrix, you know? So it's just the beginning of something else. So you're just like, okay, what just happened? Well, you're not plugged in anymore, this stupid Matrix. But there's still a lot to learn and to understand. So yeah, that was another defining moment.